Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever in the world that you're joining us from. It's so good to have you back on the Business Day SME Clinic. And here we talk about strategies and tips that businesses, especially small business owners, can incorporate to ensure that they are making the best use of what they have, their resources, and also ensuring that they're bringing in as much profit as possible while maximizing their impact on the economy. Today, we have a very long list of amazing professionals, experts in the business of digital marketing, and we're going to be talking about digital marketing for SMEs. We have experts, like I mentioned, and I'm just going to do a very quick run through of the professionals, the amazing people who are going to be speaking to us today. We have Chioma Chinweze, who is a brand and marketing consultant. We're also going to be listening to Temitokwe Orula, the founder, Digital Business Nigeria. We, of course, have Moremi Elekwachi. She's a global PR and marketing consultant. We have the founder and CEO of Digital Force, Abiodun Ogunjabi. We have the head of growth, supplies, technologies, Precious Additional Ola. And of course, we have the CEO of Euphoric PR, Mosumola Orioye. And to be moderating, I have myself, Zainab Adiromu, a business journalist with Business Day. So starting off, we're going to have, opening remarks from every single one of our speakers about the topic, which is digital marketing for businesses, for SMEs actually, small, medium enterprises. How can they maximize the digital market space and ensure that they're able to reach customers irrespective of where they are in the world? That's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be starting off with the global PR and marketing consultant, Moremi Elekwachi. Hello, Moremi, can you hear me? Okay, so I'm not particularly sure that Moremi is here with us yet. Of course, we can just move on to another expert. We're going to have first the brand and marketing consultant, Chioma Chinweze. Hi, Chioma. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Zainab. It's an honor to be here. It's a privilege to be here with everybody. Thank you for having me, and I look forward to my session later during the call. Thank you.
Okay, but could we take, say, opening remarks from you, on the topic digital marketing for SMEs? What comes to mind when you think of digital marketing for SMEs? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
Digital marketing for SMEs. One, understanding the current business landscape in Nigeria. We understand that things are tight on the customer's end and also on the business end, right? So if I'm looking at digital marketing for SME to be like tailor-made solutions to small business owners. So solutions that require very little or no capital at all, that could actually bring the visibility and reach that the businesses need in order to like push their product in front of their target audience. So for me, I think that would be like key things I will be looking at to provide to the SMEs on today's call.
All right, thank you very, very much, Shema. So solutions that literally cost nothing but can still create the best and the most impact for businesses.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to move on to, thank you very much. We're going to move on to the founder of Digital Business Nigeria, Temitokwe Orilua. Hello, Temitokwe, can you hear me?
Hi, I can hear you. Sorry, I'll soon turn my video on.
Okay, should we wait for you to do that?
Okay, probably.
We'll take somebody else, and while you're much more settled, we can go on.
No problem. We can do that.
All right. Thank you very much. Of course, now we can now have the global PR and marketing consultant, Moremi Elekwachi. Moremi, are you here now? Can you hear me? All right. Okay, then I think we can then take the founder and CEO of Digital Force, Abiodun Ogunjabi.
All right. Thank you for this golden opportunity, and I think I'm so happy to be here to be part of this panelist to share a few things that I've known and I've learned in my years of practice relating with SMEs. Basically, the topic before us today, I think, is critical. It's critical because we'll be dealing with how to connect those who have very minimal budget, and in some cases no budget, with their dreams, giving ways that they can leverage on the digital platforms. Today, the statistic has it that Nigeria cannot be left out of the global community. The teledensity and interconnectivity in Nigeria has really come of age. So there are more people on digital platforms than there were a few years ago. And these people are beginning to learn to buy, to trade. So what are the hurdles before the SMEs, or the dreamers? I mean, those who are still in ideation stage of their concepts. How do they connect with those that will exchange money for the value they are about to deliver? So I believe this is going to be a wonderful conversation today, and can't wait to start my session. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I like the fact that you mentioned that this is going to be a wonderful conversation. And of course, we look forward to the tips and strategies that you have for SMEs to maximize the digital space. Thank you very much. Next, we're going to move on to the head of growth of Suppliers Technologies, Precious Adeshinola. Hello, Precious. Good morning. It's great to have you.
Good morning, Zainab. Great to be here as well. It's exciting, and I'm looking forward to my session as well as hearing from the other speakers. I'm sure I'm going to learn a thing or two, because learning never ends. With regards to the approach of digital marketing as something that SMEs can leverage, I don't think it can be overemphasized, because digital marketing has come to stay. It's now a means to an end. Anybody who is doing marketing, any form of promotion, selling any form of product, engaging with any kind of audience, needs to have a digital platform or a digital means of doing that. And that's where digital marketing comes in. So for me, it's more of looking at how it can be maximized to drive business growth. Of course, many small businesses think about digital marketing as something that they don't have to contribute anything to in order for it to work. But I'm a strong believer in the allocation of some budget to marketing, whatever kind of marketing, if really you want it to work. So, these are some of the things that I'll be sharing with regards to my opinions, my experiences, how it has worked in different campaigns that I've handled. And I'm sure that at the end of the day, the businesses will be able to learn a thing or two from my contribution. Thank you very much, Zainab, for having me.
Thank you very much, Precious. I absolutely enjoyed your opening remarks, especially when you talked about how the digital market is here to stay. And if you're running anything and you want it to be really successful, of course, you have to tap into that market that is online. Next, we're going to take the CEO of Euphoric PR, Musumola Orioye. Hello, Musumola. Good to have you.
Hi. Hello, good morning. Thank you for having me. And just for clarity, I am the Executive Director of HH Holdings, Executive Director of Branding and Communications of HH Holdings Group. So, yes, I think there was just a mix-up somewhere. So, just for clarity. First and foremost, I want to say a very big thank you for having me here today. It's 4 a.m. here in America. And, I was like, okay, I can't afford to miss this because this is something that means so much to me personally and business-wise. So first, I want us to just, have like an overview of what exactly digital marketing is. And if you check, Google or anywhere else, they'll tell you that it's a platform for promoting brands. So there's social media, there's email marketing, there is website, there are different things, around around digital marketing and the effectiveness. I would say that personally, this has impacted me. It has impacted our businesses, and we've seen the effect in terms of cost effectiveness, in terms of the global reach that digital marketing has, and the effect, the general overview of what it has done to businesses. I personally have, I've had small business where I had to like thrive and spend money on marketing, and thank God for this digital marketing space and where we are today. I also, had 13 years experience working in traditional marketing, and I'm sure you also understand what it means to get brands to be on board. So if it's not a big brand, or if it's not someone who has a huge budget, you can't necessarily use traditional marketing. So digital marketing is everything, and I am very excited to be here today, and also share my own expert experience from where I started from, and how this has helped me in my business and in everything else in life. So thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Mola. Also, thank you for the clarification. Apologies for the mix-up. So Ms. Mola is the Executive Director of Strategy and Communication of HH Holdings Group. Thank you very much for your submissions as well. And I think I'd really like to start with you for, the first question that I have today, seeing that you talked about how businesses, especially when they don't have a very large budget, they necessarily would have to rely on digital marketing to ensure that they're able to still carry on business as they ought to. And so my first question, I'd like you to answer it. What are the key components of an effective digital marketing strategy for an SME? So you have an SME that wants to embark on a digital marketing, say maybe a campaign or anything that they want to do in terms of the digital space. What are the components of an effective strategy that they should incorporate?
Okay, first and foremost, the very first thing I'll give at least 4 to 5 different things that they need to do. The very first thing is you need to have a clear objective. What exactly are you trying to achieve with digital marketing, with the digital space? Let's assume you have a product and you're trying to get into the market. What are the first? You have to understand, you have to have a clear objective, have a strategy in place, and then identify your target audience. Who are you trying to target? What their age, what's their demography, age range, who are they, how can they afford your product? This needs to be defined. And then the next thing would be that you need to have a content strategy. What do I mean by that is, what platforms would you like to thrive on? We have several platforms. We have Twitter, we have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have TikTok, we have email marketing, we have, there are different ones. We have, I might mention Facebook. We have different platforms. So you need to have like clear direction on what platform you would like to, be present on. And also, you also need to understand the style. You understand trend, understand what exactly the market wants for that particular product. Let's say, for instance, you want to start maybe a boutique, clothing boutique, and then you have to start looking. Okay, who are my target audience? Who are the people I want to reach? Who are these people? How can they afford my product? You need to understand. Okay, this is the level of this is the price, my price range. okay, these women, the people that are going to afford this particular price range, what do they do? You know, are they working moms? Are they full-time career women? Are they entrepreneurs? You know, you have to have like very, very clear objective on what to do and what platform they are present. They are usually present in. Is it Instagram or wherever it is? Is it email that would, you know, target them and get them in? You know, so and all of that stuff. And then the effectiveness, like I mentioned, is like I said, the very, very first thing is clear objective. Once you have a clear objective, and then every other thing, you know, follows. I hope I answered your question right.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ms. Sumola. So they necessarily have to first of all understand their objectives. What exactly are they trying to achieve? And that's when they know which platforms would be relevant to their objective. So you're not just you don't just start without understanding what you're trying to achieve, and that's really important. I'd like to move on now to. So we're going to do it, you know, in the way that we spoke, but this time from the behind to the front. So I'd like to move on now to Precious Additional. Can you please tell us how small businesses, you know, can identify their target audiences in digital spaces? So we understand that there are many people online, but we're trying to target certain kind of people. Maybe a business that's trying to target new moms, for example, or first-time moms, for example. How exactly can they identify this target audience and attract them to their campaigns?
Okay, so I'll just pick it off where Mosumola stopped, and she talked about objectives, and she talked about identifying the platforms where these people are. And so, using the same example, if we're targeting new moms, for example, we need to understand where they hang out. So, are they on Instagram or Facebook? How do you find out where they are? You run experiments. So, for a fresh business, you can't just assume and say, oh, you know, I know that there are new moms in my church and they are all on Instagram. So therefore, new moms are on Instagram. No, you have to go out and test it, right? What about other places where you don't have access to? So typically, I would advise a small business to run experiments. Do a small experiment on Facebook, do a small experiment on Instagram, and see how much engagement you get, and see what kind of feedback you get from those platforms. The experiments could range from a simple poll or a content post, or even a small ad, short-timed, very clear messaging, you know, to get engagement from a particular group of people. And once you're able to get that, you can then double down on investing in doing more on that platform. So, I mean, if you are a small business owner and you want to understand how to target your audience, you must not skip that experiment stage. If not, you'll be making assumptions. And assumptions are not a good way to start your business, because if you make those assumptions and you build your entire marketing, you know, plan or budget or campaign or your marketing structure around those assumptions, it could flop. So you could be having, you know, a lot of buzz online, but it's not translating to actually reaching the people that you want to reach. That's why you see some brands that, you know, do a lot of comedy content, and people are there for the comedy, but they are not actually the audience that you want to buy, right? Or that you want to target, as the case may be. So I'd say the primary thing is run experiments on several platforms, measure what you get out of those experiments. Data does not lie, and then use that data to determine where you will double down your resources. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Precious. So essentially, you need to first of all test out your hypothesis. I was going to say assumptions, but then I remember that you mentioned that we should not make assumptions. So, but you need to understand that you have to gather data. Basically, you have to reach out to different type of audiences and ask them different questions. You know, ranging from a poll or a short ad, just ensuring that you are able to attract the people that you want. And also, you mentioned putting your content appropriately. You know, using the appropriate type of content. If you're using comedy content, then you know that you're maybe not going to attract all of the kind of people that you want to attract. You will attract different people who may not necessarily be part of your target audience. So that is also something that small businesses, and I'm sure that every small business owner who's listening today took due notes from what you mentioned. So now let's move on to the next speaker. We're going to have Abiodun next. My question for you is, how can SMEs, or let's talk about budgets now. What budget-friendly tools would you recommend for SMEs starting up with digital marketing? So you mentioned that when you started, you mentioned that it's a way to connect dreamers with their dream, even when they don't necessarily have such a large budget. So now let's talk about how they can actually maximize these platforms without having such a very large budget.
Okay, thank you so much. First, I would like to look at it from, imagine someone who really does not even have any budget, who has zero budget, and that may seem a bit too far, but really, I've seen it done. I've seen someone who really didn't have a budget, but had the right tools and made the right inquiries, and his campaign was quite successful online. So let me break it down. My advice to any SMEs that wants to start is not to be in a hurry to spend money, because the first thing is not about money. It's about strategy. It's about understanding what I call discoverability. It's about positioning. It's about leveraging on the flow of traffic. So the most important platform that I would suggest to any SME to start with is Google. Have a Gmail account. Gmail account gives you entitlement to a lot of free services that is available by Google. With that Gmail account, you can register your Google My Business. Google My Business is free. Earlier I said the first thing is discoverability. On Google, on a daily basis, there are 8.5 million searches going on. 8.5 billion searches happening every day on Google. A chunk of that is a service that you render. Every person in a day searches Google 3 to 4 times. So there is actually no service or product you are rendering that someone is not thinking how to find. And when they are thinking of how to find, the first place that comes to mind is to go to Google. So the first thing I would suggest is first position yourself. Yes, you are going to have budget. I very much agree with what my other speakers have spoken about, but I want to address that man that thinks he doesn't even have any money or has a very low budget. Before you spend your first dime, put your foot on the ground. Have Google My Business. Let it be clear. Have a phone number that people can call. Have a location. Have pictures of your service. Now, to make these things a bit more practical, I had a friend who was working in a place and he was involved in logistics. And he was the one that was in charge of, organizing vehicles and moving things around. And all of a sudden, it dawned on him, oh, wow, if I can connect these service providers to the people in my office, why don't I make money from these things? So he went around and he actually went to people that had car lease services, and many of them were not online. So he took pictures and created Google My Business, uploaded the pictures. To cut the long story short, before long, calls were coming in, and he made a successful business enterprise. And we will sit down at times, and the joke of the day was that he did not spend a dime. Now, that may be, maybe, that may not be everybody's case scenario, but it just shows what happened. He stood in the way of traffic. The first strategy is to know the flow. Don't swim against the flow. Stay in the direction that the traffic that is online, because if you are offering a service, you are providing a solution to a problem. Those that have those problems, where are they going to look for solution? It is common knowledge that the word ask has been replaced by the word Google. So if you think of any problem in your mind, it's a digital behavior now. We are gradually wired to even use the word Google. If someone asks you a question, you say, go Google it. So stay in the pathway of that traffic. That's the first thing. And all of that is free. Register your presence on the typical social media platform. The next thing I always, because the greatest issue is how you will be discovered, discoverability. And it's important that when your idea, that's what, those I call dreamers, immediately the idea is dawning in your heart. Just as much as you are thinking of getting to CAC to register, check if the domain is available. If the domain is available, check if that name is also available on social media platform. All of that, you are going to tie and leverage and have the power of discoverability when your domain name rhymes with your social media presence, rhymes with your CAC name. So your offline now syncs with your online, and your first level of discoverability comes excellent. So my first suggestion to any SME is first be discoverable. That doesn't cost money. The next thing after that is to, rather than, because we are dealing with people that, yeah, budget is an issue with them. Look for, if you don't have time to go on Google, on YouTube to watch how to target your audience, look for someone who knows how to do paid adverts. Because one, you stay in the direction of people coming to you. The other one is like pointing a gun, so that you are targeting precisely on those platforms, and there is no other way than paid promotion. That is the most perfect way. A lot of people do promotions, but they do it without in-depth knowledge. So they are not equipped with the knowledge for advanced promotion. I've worked with quite a number of SMEs, and the first thing I tell them is this: if you rather than pay someone as a brand ambassador, pay someone to do your promotion for you, to sit down, do your keyword research, go on Google Console, get the trending words, use the right hashtag, and promote your services. That way you'll be hitting the bullseye. That way you'll be sure you can't go wrong when you understand how the algorithm of this platform works. Once you understand how the algorithm of this platform works, you can be sure if you stay consistently with that strategy, you will harvest the traffic that is on those platforms. I guess I should pause there. I don't know whether I have more time, but let me pause there for now.
I really like the fact that you are just going on, and every single thing that you're saying, it's really insightful. So businesses, you don't necessarily have to start with the mindset of having a budget and pumping money into strategies that you don't even understand yet. You have to first of all you position yourself towards the traffic in such a way that you're able to maximize the flow of the traffic rather than just putting money into rather than just putting money into what you don't even understand yet. And that's really insightful. Thank you very much. So we're going to move on to Temitokwe. At this point, Temitokwe, I understand that we skipped you a bit in the beginning when we were trying to settle in, but I'm sure that you now understand. You're now settled. So of course we can take your opening as well as say the answer to this question. So what role does content marketing play in building trust and engagement for small businesses? So how does content marketing actually help small businesses build trust and traffic, just the way the other speaker just said?
Hi everyone. My name is Temitope Oilua. I am the founder of Digital Business Nigeria. And at Digital Business, we have two businesses basically. One is a digital marketing agency called digitize.ng, and the other is more of a digital business hub. Currently, we have about 3 businesses that we're building, but one major one is called Sender.io, Sender Communications. And at Sender Communications, we are trying to solve a couple of problems. The first is we're trying to unify your marketing needs, like your SMS, your email, your WhatsApp. And because we realize that businesses go to different platforms for these things. So you have an SMS platform, you have an email platform, you have a WhatsApp platform. So, but on our platform, you will be able to, do these 3 things and market efficiently. And the second thing is we're creating something called the 1DM. Basically, we realized, because we work with several small businesses, we realized that small businesses have like about 5 to 10 different social media handles, and they receive DMs on several of these handles. And it's a massive challenge for these small businesses. That's why in Nigeria, a lot of times you will chat a small business on maybe WhatsApp, and they will reply you with maybe one automated response or something, and they will tell you that you should chat with them on WhatsApp. And we've always been of the view that you need to interact with your customers where they are comfortable with. So if your customer is on Twitter, don't tell the customer to come and meet you on WhatsApp, or tell the customer to come and meet you on Instagram. Where you meet them, that is where they want you to engage with, and a lot of businesses have really missed that because they are losing customers, trying to move them from one platform to another. So always try your best to engage with the customer where they are. The second advice I will also give to customers is, if you meet your customer on Twitter or on Instagram, engage with them there. You can go a step further by maybe asking for their name and their email, so that you can get a lead. Then you guys now continue your discussion. Anyway, so let me come back to so that's about me and basically what I do. So the question was on content marketing and how SMEs can use content marketing to build trust and engagement, for how businesses can use content marketing to build trust and engagement. Okay. So what's content marketing all about? It's in my own way of viewing it. It's how do you use content effectively on the various platforms to promote your brand. Now, before one even starts in a content marketing journey, I think some people have already mentioned it. You need to do a lot of things. You need to do your situation analysis. You need to do your understand your target market. You need to understand your target audience. And some people also miss it as to the difference between target market and target audience. Sorry about that. Some people miss it in terms of the difference between the target market and the target audience. So your target market basically speaks to who you want to sell your product or service to. And your target audience speaks to the set of people or the group of people you want to target for your current campaign. Sometimes, maybe, for example, just a very random example, your targets, you are trying to sell, maybe my product, for example, sender.io, you are trying to sell a communication tool, and your target market is SMEs. You created it for SMEs. But then, who would now be your target audience? Your target audience could be digital marketing managers in these SMEs. You could even go more niche. You could look for you could even, because social media is that deep, you could target the page admins of some SMEs, the page admins within even a particular geographical location. So I just wanted to put that out there. So once you've done your research, you know the situation analysis, you've gotten your target market, you know who you are speaking to. I think Precious also mentioned something in respect to doing a poll. You can do surveys and all that. Now, there are two sets of people. There's somebody that's been in business for a while, and there's somebody that is just starting up, all right? And they're all in this SME space. So somebody that's been in business for a while, you can go through your social media handles. You can go through your website if you have your Google Analytics already connected to it. You can go and check, the people that are currently following your content, the people that are currently engaging with your content. You can go and check their details there. That's really the base for your target market. Like, sometimes your research is one thing, but the reality is another thing. You can go and do research and find out that these are the people you want to target. Then by the time you start promoting, you'll now see there is a certain kind of people that are interested in your product. Focus on those people that are interested in your product. Maybe you can now go deeper and start asking them questions. As I'll get to the content marketing, but there are just some basic things that people need to do, because if you don't go through these steps, you could probably just be wasting your time. All right. Now, for an existing business, just go to your data. If it's a website, go to Google Analytics, check your affinity categories. You'll be able to see people that have a drawing towards your brand. Okay, now for a brand new website, I think Precious mentioned polls. That's great. Do polls, talk to people, do some research, do competition analysis, look at who is your competition audience, who are the people that are, who are their customers. Do your analysis there, and you'll be able to get your basic target audience. Once your target audience has been sorted, now you go to the next step, which would be how you want to use your content marketing to reach your objectives. Now, you would now, from your situation analysis, you would have known what is working in the industry, and how your competition, if there are any competition already, how they are currently leveraging the entire digital space at the moment. There are sites like SimilarWeb that you can use to go and check for free and go and check, what is my competition currently using? What mediums are they using? On SimilarWeb, it will show you that, this particular competition is using email, is using social media, is using this, is using that. So you take that information. It's a good to have. And I'll come back to this point. I'll give an example. I started a business, I think 2018. It's in the sport forecast niche. We grew the business to a certain level, and I was able to sell it last year. Now, when I started the business, I did a massive competitive analysis. I looked at my competition, and I realized that everybody within my space, at least 95% of the people playing in my space, they were focused so much on SEO, and they were doing nothing on social media. And because I was just starting, I knew that I might not be able to beat them at their game, because those guys had a lot of money already. And sometimes with SEO, if you want things to be fast for you, you might need to spend money. But I didn't have that. So what I did basically was, while I was doing the SEO, doing the necessary things I needed to do, I now said, okay, since nobody is really doing social media in my space, everybody just abandoned social media. Like, I checked all my competition. Some of them did not have any social media presence at all. So I looked into dominating in social media. So I was really the first in that space that was really doing a lot in social media. I got influencers, I did a lot of ads, I did everything. And before I knew, I started seeing some of my competition, started opening social media accounts and everything. But basically, because of the competition analysis I did, I found that there was this gap somewhere, and there was a lot of customers I could, just grab and get my early wins. So that's why I started this discussion with situation analysis, target markets, competition analysis, because it will give you massive insights before you now start your content marketing. So once you've found the place that you want to play in, you've agreed that, okay, I'm going to do social media. Then another thing is, for SMEs, you may not have the capacity, basically, to play in every single field effectively. And what do I mean? Social media now, there's just a lot. There's a lot. There's Facebook, there's Instagram, there is Threads, which I don't even know if it's still alive, but I'm seeing it on my Instagram post. There's Twitter, there's Pinterest, there's TikTok. So it's a lot, and some businesses make that mistake of like, oh, let me start doing everything everywhere. It's not easy. It's really not easy to do everything everywhere. So you need to really hone down as to, what can I be able to achieve with my limited budgets? Because a lot of times when we speak about SMEs, we are looking at people that have limited budget or no budget at all, like a colleague here said. So you need to hone down. Sometimes I would advise, it depends on your budget and your capacity, but sometimes I would advise that you even just start with one platform. All right? You can start with one, max 2 platforms, and see how you can dominate and achieve something in those platforms. Trust me, if you are doing something on only Twitter can give you almost all the customers you are looking for, especially if your audience is there. All right. Some people want to do everything, and a lot of times that's why you see a lot of businesses. They will have a lot of followers and engagement on maybe Instagram, Twitter, 0 followers, Facebook, 0 followers. They just opened accounts here and there, and just, to be honest, and they'll be posting. When they create one post for Instagram, they'll just share it everywhere. You are not ready for the work. You understand? There's a lot to do in terms of engaging that space. You have to create, so Anyway, I think I've over digressed. So for for once you've understood your target market, understood your target audience, and you've selected the space you would like to play in, be it social media, be it Instagram or Twitter or whatever channels you've selected. It could also be your website via SEO. SEO, there are two types basically. There's local SEO, which you can dominate in, and there's your website SEO. For your website SEO, there are still about 2 to 3 types. There's the local part of it, there's the regional, and there's the global play. All right, so it depends on exactly, but once you've identified, then you now start creating effective content for those places. Your content strategy will be massively based on your research that you've done, on the analysis that you've done, and what is working currently in those spaces. You can focus 100% on SEO, search engine optimization, which is extremely cheap. If you have money, you can make it faster to work for you. If you have less money, it can take a little more time for you to be able to get the traction you need, but you are going to get there. And the advantage of SEO is that it has a longer, it's more sustainable than a lot of paid media. So as much as you can have a mix of SEO, local SEO, and your website SEO, and maybe 1 or 2 social media handles that you want to promote, and start creating content there based on your target market that you've identified, based on some keywords that you see that these people are searching for, and based on the keywords they are searching for, and also based on their pain points and their concerns. Because if you are able to identify your customers' pain points and your concerns, why they want to buy, why they are looking for your products, you create content around that. For example, a very good example is on social media now. Sorry, just give me a second. For example, on social media, if you find out that the major pain points people are having for your product is they are struggling to interact. They have non-engaged customers. Their customers are just, so all the content that you'll be creating is speaking to that engagement, speaking to that pain. All right, and they will be able to relate. You could do an ad talking about do you struggle engaging with your customers? Are your customers just coming, buying, and going without any form of engagement? Then this product is there for you, and you speak and speak and speak. So, but everything will be based on your research, the results from your research. So don't just create content for creating content. Understand your target market, your target audience, your research, keywords, pain points, all these, you put them together to start an effective content marketing plan. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. That was actually very, very detailed, and I'm sure that all of those points that you mentioned were, you mentioned that you don't just jump straight into content creation. You have to do a little bit of an analysis. You have to understand your proposition. You have to understand who you're trying to attract, and all of those things that you mentioned. And then you also have to ensure that the content you are creating is not just you can dominate in 1 or 2 social media platforms, not all of the social media platforms. And then you can, of course, ensure that you have audience on this particular platforms, but you also have to ensure that your SEO is top game, and that is a lot more sustainable. Thank you very much. So let's move on now to Chioma. And Chioma, I really want to know, how can SMEs track and measure the success of their digital marketing campaigns? What exactly? I know that
the previous speaker tried to do a little bit of analysis or exposition on that, but I really want you to school us on what are those things that SMEs should look out for in terms of measuring their campaigns.
Thank you, Zainab. So what SMEs should actually look out for when tracking and analyzing their campaign? First, before starting the campaign, they usually set out to have a clear objective of that campaign. So, for instance, your marketing campaign could be about product launch, it could be your brand launch, it could be any of the different aspects of marketing that they're looking or intending to attract customers from, or visibility. So I think the most common one for SMEs are usually campaigns around visibility. So if your campaign is tailored towards visibility, which the first speaker had mentioned, she mentioned that you have to set out to have a clear objective. So that clear objective, if it's regarding visibility. The second speaker mentioned something about targeting your audience. So after tracking, after setting a clear goal for your campaign, then your target audience, where do you reach them? So for instance, I think initial reference were made to, if you're intending to meet moms, if you're intending to meet nursing mothers, pregnant mothers, the first thing you're supposed to be looking at as small business owners are looking at motherhood forums. We have Wives and Mothers, Lagos Moms, and those different platforms. And how can you even penetrate those communities to, first of all, reach out to their audience to see, do they align, or does your product align with their needs? Now, you've reached your target audience at where they are. Now, understanding whether your product aligns with their needs, which I had also mentioned that testing out your ads or testing out your concept or whatever assumptions you have as a small business owners, testing out those different things with your target audience can help you understand and kind of provide or give you the clarity you need before you intend to push or put a lot of money or spend a lot of money on marketing. So after you've done that and you've like tested and you see that, oh, people actually do need your product, then you're also now looking at, okay, I've done the different testing, people are actually buying the product, but not as much as I would want, and I need more visibility for my brand. Through those different products or through those different channels which you've actually reached out to, then you're pushing out your ads, you're putting out an ad out, because normally small business owners do not have like a lot of budget to spend on ads. So another thing is even understanding the ads that works for you. So as a product, as a small business owners that is like a product based, that has a product based business. So you're like looking at, okay, do I put out a catalog ad, for instance, rather than putting a carousel ad. So you're putting out a catalog ad that has about 5 or 6 of your products in one ad. So rather than putting out just one ad and you're spending so much money on putting out one product out of variety of products that you have, first off, once you've been able to like carve out that niche for yourself, and I think they mentioned something about storytelling, then you're able to know that, okay, this is the particular area I fall into. So to the nursing mothers, what are you trying to sell to them? So for instance, you have a product, you built a product, built a business, and you're thinking, I want to sell easy product or simple to use product for nursing mothers when they're traveling. So using themes around travel themes and those different products that would actually fit into those different aspects and how easy it will be for them to get those products. Then content marketing comes into play here again. So in putting out whatever ad you're putting out, the reason why I haven't gone straight to tracking and measuring, I want to be able to like go through the different steps and kind of give them an understanding based on what previous speakers have mentioned regarding the different campaigns, marketing campaigns, and how small businesses can thrive. That's the reason why I'm delving into that, if you pardon me. So in putting that out, content marketing, what content are you putting out? So for a nursing mother, for instance, what kind of content is she looking for? She's not looking for a young person, someone that hadn't given birth before, advertising a product to her. She's looking for someone that has actually been in the same situation as she has been and understands the challenges that she's currently facing and knows how beneficial those products are. So that way, if I put out an ad, anywhere I put out that ad is relevant to me. And so because that ad is relevant to me, I'll definitely engage with that ad. So another thing, again, in terms of targeting, when you're putting out an ad, we've mentioned content. Another thing is also location, geographic location. So for instance, I think an earlier speaker had mentioned Google My Business. That's where it comes into play. So Google My Business is actually a critical aspect of a digital marketing, very cost-effective digital marketing tool for SMEs. The reason I'm saying this was I created a business in 2020 where I wanted to test out some theories I actually had regarding small business and starting businesses from £0 up until nothing. So the first place I targeted was actually Google My Business. From Google My Business, it also linked, surprisingly, it linked me on Google Maps. So on Google Maps, if you type out best travel essentials for moms or travel essentials that you need in Ibadan, it brings up my business as part of the list. So if you're actually putting a small effort into creating that Google My Business, and that way you're putting in relevant keyword, like the last speaker just mentioned, SEOs. So for SEO, it might be a little bit over their head understanding what SEOs are, but keywords, playing with keywords. What do I mean by keywords? So for instance, your niche, you've crafted a niche, you have a clear objective for your business, and you have a target audience. You sell travel essentials for nursing mothers, right? For anything you're writing, anything you're putting out, you're ensuring that nursing mother is there, travel is there, travel essential, essential gadgets that you need for travel, things like that, that actually plays into that particular niche that you're talking about. You ensure that all those things are embedded in your copy. What do I mean by copy? Like the things you write out. So your epistle about your business or about each of those particular products, you ensure that those things are there. Initially, I think over the years, it has been hashtags, but I think over time, social media algorithm, platform algorithm have actually evolved over the time, and hashtags might not be as relevant as it used to be, but keywords actually play a role. Business, like I mentioned now, would actually help you to draft out all the things you need to do about your business. So I was also speaking about pushing out that ad. So now you've identified, these are your target audience. You've identified putting out on relevant channels. You've also identified that there's a specific geographic location that you can tailor to. And if you're a small business and you can actually even sell most of your products, or you can deliver most of your product to the different states in Nigeria, you can as well do that. But what this is leading me to is talking about geographic location for where you want to even invest your funding to. So spreading yourself thin as a small business on when you're creating ads, especially creating like a broad geographic location, say all over Nigeria and everything. Because you have a specific niche you're targeting, it might require you to spend a lot. So for instance, if you even start in your vicinity, not really vicinity, but say for instance, nursing mothers in Lagos, moms in Lagos, and even identified some of the websites that your target audience usually go to. Because Facebook ads, because most times if you're creating your Instagram ads or Facebook ads, it sort of allows you put in the different websites that your target audience interact with. And that way, by putting that in, it's able to now push out your ads to relevant audiences that usually visit or occasionally visit that particular website. So if you know your ads are actually relevant to the sort of people that follow that particular website, you can impute those things there while you're sending your ads out. And in doing that, you're able to like ensure, even though over time you're even going to be checking, is this relevant? Is this working for me? Do I need to stop this ad? So a lot of mistakes small business also make is in pushing out an ad, they usually do not check over time if the ad is actually relevant and bringing in the leads that they would require. So that will lead me to the next one. So you're putting that in, you're putting the different location, and that's able to help the algorithm learn the kind of target, the kind of audience that you're looking to target, right? And in doing that, it pushes it out to them. So let's say, for instance, you're creating a catalog ad that shows different products, especially when you're even looking at the season. So understanding your business also allows you to know how relevant your ad is supposed to be per each season. So for instance, December is here. We're in December, sorry. We're in December and people are looking to travel, right? People are looking to travel. And at this point, you know that it's your peak period where people are looking. So your copies should be something around looking to travel home for Christmas, looking to travel for the holidays, looking to travel to this, looking to travel to that. These are the relevant products that you actually need, and it's actually coming out at that particular time. Once your ads are gone out, you're looking at people that are interacting with you. So another mistake with small business owners is not understanding that for each lead that comes to you, you're paying for those leads, right? It's coming to you. How relevant to you, whether now or later or long term, your response to them at this very moment actually determines if they would even purchase from you. Because I've had a lot of bad experiences with small business owners online, and where you're inquiring about a product and they do not have a lot of information, or they cannot even give as much information as I need. So most times I would even recommend to small business owners is once someone talks to you and say, oh, please, I need this product. If there's a way, I understand that budgets might be limited, but if there's a way to even call them to even understand what they actually need regarding those products, yes, then you can actually reach out to them and tell them, okay, this is what it is. Then your expertise in this would actually be able to convince them in also buying that product. Another thing, now I'm going into tracking and measuring different measures for their campaigns or campaigns that they put out. Another thing is record keeping. So small business owners, it's very critical that they have a record keeping process. Why do I say this? So you have leads coming in, and some of the inquiries are about products you currently do not have. You currently do not have in stock, right? I would suggest that they put down those different products. So you write down those products, for instance, products that are relating to your niche that customers are asking for, to write it down that, okay, these are the products that people have been asking on a daily basis as the ad is bringing in leads and inquiries, right, to your DMs. So that is also as equally as important as someone that is also asking for relevant product in your base. And why do I say this? A lot of people buy, okay, because maybe one or two people ask about, say sponge, for instance, and you currently do not sell that. You did the first campaign, one or two people mentioned, and the next campaign you're doing, you're already going to spend money in buying sponge, in buying all the things that, because one or two people actually responded. If you do that and you buy that, you might not really get a customer for it, and you have that product as a sticky inventory in your business. What I would advise is, over the course of 3 campaigns, you can say a particular miss sale. So that's what it's called. So it's called miss sale. So products that they ask for that is currently not in your inventory, they're called miss sale. So once you have recorded consistent miss sale of over 3 campaigns, you're able to now say, okay, this is a credible product that people are actually looking for in relating to my niche, right? Now, for the customers that actually come to inquire about your product, and for some, you have the product, for others, it's currently not in stock, how are you able to track the efficiency of that campaign? So for me, I would say they divide it into 3. So you put out an ad, you have your customers, direct leads that actually buy the product that are currently in stock. You have the miss sale customers as well. You have those ones that come to ask for product that are currently not available or currently not in your inventory, that you do not even sell at all. And the third batch are also the customers that comes and asks for a particular product that are currently not in stock. Then the last one are people that just inquire with no intention to buy. But I believe there's nobody that would actually inquire about a product without intention to buy. How do you treat this for leads from your campaign? And how are you able to track successfully each of those campaigns and even optimize most of the results you are getting from that campaign? So I would suggest for the direct customers, you're able to feed them. For all the customers that even reach out to you, which is what some businesses do, but I would advise all businesses even do that. As they're coming through a particular channel, if they're coming through Facebook or coming through Instagram, it's important that you direct them immediately to WhatsApp. Why do I say this? That way you're able to get their contact details and they're already in your database as a customer. They're already on your customer list. You already have a customer list or record keeping. Like I mentioned, record keeping is very, very important. So you need that lead that is coming from that campaign. So you're able to segment them based on those four lists I'd mentioned before. For the customers, for the mid-sale customers, you know that when you've identified that particular lead is credible, immediately you have those products in stock. You can send out messages to them saying, oh, I have this product. I understand that you're looking for this, but we have this product. Hi, we have this product now in stock. For the customers that, oh, you have a particular product, but it's currently not in stock, you know that you can reach out to them later. Then for the last set of customers who just inquired, knowing that they'll be interested in, you know that for your general marketing SMSs that are going, which is very efficient for small businesses, for the general marketing messages that are going out, maybe on a weekly, bi-weekly basis, all those customers are actually getting different messages tailored to them. Over time, you notice that if you're doing this per campaign, it might sound tedious as a small business owner, but if you're doing this per campaign, you have a large business, you have a large customer base in your database that you know that, okay, that are segmented into different parts that you know are relevant to your business. These simple tricks in actually bringing in those leads for you as a small business owner would actually teach you on how to engage per each customers. So as I mentioned, visibility in terms of ads or campaigns, tracking visibility. So for instance, you're putting out an ad and your intention is visibility, that you want to reach the right people, you want to reach people. How are you able to do that? For me, like the previous speakers have mentioned, is content creators. So I know we have influencers. People mistake UGC creators with influencers. Influencers, as a small business owner, you might not have the budget for an influencer. But there are small UGC creators that actually create authentic what's it called, ads that are relevant to your business. You don't need to pay them as much. Some of them just even require just your product, right? Which is why I said, in measuring campaign success, your intention is very important. So I'd mentioned about conversion. If you're looking for conversion, which is what I'd mentioned regarding the different leads you're going to be getting on that conversion campaign. If you're looking at visibility and you're looking at those different niche called small content creators that you can reach, that actually have audience that are relevant to your product, that way you can reach out to them and say, okay, you're sending out product to them, and you're discussing with them and telling them, oh, you're sending out product to them. Even if they even want to collect money, it might not be as much, and it would actually be within your budget. And that way, how do you measure that? So you're measuring, first of all, before you even engage them, just looking at, okay, other previous products you had actually spoken about. What's the reaction of the audience, right, to those products? How are people responding? Are people interactive? Because for even most UGC guys, they have a very more loyal base than the bigger influencers that we know. And as a small business owner, you need to be able to rely on the trust of their audience to be able to market your product to them. Because at that very beginning, at the beginning stage, you're able to they're able to connect better with your customers. So you're pushing out your ads through them, and on those different ads, what are you looking out for? You're looking at the likes, you're looking at the saves, the amount of people that saved your product, knowing that it's relevant to them, right? You're also looking at shares. So are there people that actually shared that particular content? And even all those different metrics, after getting all that with the comments and every other thing, like after getting all that from that campaign, you can reuse that content as a small business owner based on the different metrics that you have seen. If you're seeing that, okay, this ad kind of is relevant to people, and in order to even reach more people, you're even pushing out that particular content of that UGC creator, even getting their permission to do that. Although most of them usually approve that you can after a certain period of time or so. So you can push out as an ad as a small business owner to even bring in more people, because if it's relevant to your audience, it means if more people see that particular content, they're able to come to you through that. So measuring campaign success is, one, you're measuring the conversion from that campaign, how many sales, which is, I think, a typical thing a small business owner is looking at. What I'm saying, as a small business owner, you shouldn't be fixed on just the leads you're getting at the moment. You're also looking at long term. What customer base am I creating? What customer base am I also building? So am I building a customer base that is very innovative, that can actually make advice on products that I should bring in stock and things like that? That's where your resale customers and also other customers are actually asking for those things for. Or are you also looking for someone that will just, customers that are just coming on your page, looking at your post? So all those different things would actually give you insight as to how to track, how to derive results from most of the campaigns you're putting out. So tracking for success is determined specifically by the campaign that you're putting out in your business. Thank you. Hi, can everybody hear you?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you very much, Chioma. That was really detailed and insightful. Beyond measuring the number of sales, beyond measuring the conversions you were able to get, it's also very important for a small business owner to think long term and think of how they can build a business list or a customer list, like you mentioned, and how they can actually continue to engage these customers so they have more loyal customers that continue to return to buy from them. And I think that's really, really important for small business owners to take note of. All right, so we'll move to our next speaker. We missed Moremi the other time, but I think that she can do justice to this particular question. So Moremi, please, what exactly do you think small business owners or small medium enterprises do, mistakes that they do that can be avoided and even should be avoided? But while you're giving your response, you can, do your opening, because we took opening from every speaker. So you can do your opening and then you can answer the question.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for that. Hello, everybody. Apologies for joining a little bit late. My emails, my internet was a little down, so my emails were not refreshing as fast. And so I didn't get the link on time. But anyways, we're here now. So my name is Moremi Elekwachi. I am the principal consultant at Euphoric PR, a public relations and marketing communications agency based in Lagos, Nigeria, but with footprints around Africa and in other parts of the world. So we have a very eclectic portfolio. We have clients in tech, from tech to entertainment, to NGOs, everything in between. We have a very robust and eclectic portfolio. And whilst our core competency is actually in public relations and brand communication, that in today's world, public relations actually does go hand in hand with digital marketing and having a very, very strong online footprint as far as reaching your target audiences where they are, right? So it's all interconnected. So to answer your question, one major mistake that SMEs make, especially the startups, is trying too hard to be everything to everybody. You know, this is why I love one of the points that Chioma made, you know, with the very awesome example about, let's say you're selling a particular thing and then someone is asking you for sponges and you don't normally stock sponges, but then you're like, oh, someone is asking for it. Let me just go and, you know, procure stock so that I can sell. And then you're surprised that you end up selling nothing, right? So a lot of SMEs, especially for the startups, because I do believe that, you know, for a clinic such as these, you know, a lot of startup founders, you know, must be tuned in. And I have a lot of experience with training founders of SMEs, especially startups, to, you know, equipping them with the PR and digital marketing skills that they need to thrive. Because a lot of them, as you know, may not have the budget to hire an entire PR agency. So we do offer training to such founders. So from my experience, yes, one of the greatest mistakes that they make is, you know, trying to be everything to everybody, not having a clear understanding of the product or service that they're selling, and not having a clear enough understanding of their target audience. So I'll delve deeper into this. So this is where branding comes in as well, right? Let me give an example of like a hypothetical example. Okay, let's say a hair vendor, right? All that kind of stuff. So to an SME founder like that, their perception is, oh, I'm a wig vendor, I'm selling hair. But that is like totally, well, in functional and practical terms, you are a hair vendor and you are selling hair. That is obvious, right? But I would say everyone who sells hair and all of that you think that's what you're selling, you're totally wrong. You're actually wrong. You're not in the business of hair selling. You are in the business of beauty and enhancing the beauty of image conscious women. That is the business that you're into. So this is where we move from functional positioning to your brand storytelling, right? Because we all know that consumers do not make purchasing decisions logically, right? They make purchasing decisions based on emotion, right? So I often tell SME founders, like, having a proper understanding of, first of all, your product or your service goes beyond just the functional, goes beyond just the what of what you're selling. You need to get into the psychographics. You need to get into the lifestyle elements. You need to think to yourself, what is the lifestyle of my target audience? And how can my product or service be positioned as being part of that lifestyle? So that is the key way to know and understand what kind of product or service that you're selling. So you have to go beyond the what to the why. So why are you selling hair? It's not just, oh, you know, because you want to make money. I mean, yes, every SME needs to make money in order to sustain the business, but it has to go beyond that. Why are you selling wigs? You're not selling wigs simply because you want to sell hair. You're selling wigs because you want to enhance the lifestyle of African women. Maybe you sell affordable luxury, right? So you sell luxurious wigs, you know, at a discount. So you're selling affordable luxury and enhancing the beauty of African women, whether it's Gen Z, maybe you want to pigeonhole your target audience to that, or you want to sell to millennials or older women. So you are in the business of beauty as a lifestyle. So when you start thinking in more psychographic terms and really tapping into that emotional brand storytelling, it actually helps you sell a stronger product or service. It has to go beyond just the what. So this is what I mean by a lot of SMEs, even beyond startups. A lot of SMEs do not know their product or service, right? So knowledge of your product or service goes beyond the functional. We now need to move from, oh, I'm selling markets, to I'm selling a lifestyle. I'm selling a way of thinking, right? So that is one core mistake that a lot of SMEs worldwide, not just in Nigeria, that is one mistake that they are truly making. And I usually tell them, hey, you may not be able to hire an entire brand marketing agency or PR agency, but there are people who can, work as consultants, to, train, even if it's just like you book a 1 hour session or 30-minute session, and you really take that knowledge to heart, and share it with your team and implement what you've learned, it makes a world of difference. So beyond your typical business or your SWOT analysis, your feasibility studies and all of that, you need to look at branding, your brand communications, right, from an expert perspective. And you definitely will need, an expert on your team to actually help you navigate those waters and help you to understand fully what kind of products or service that you're selling, away from just the functional, away from just the what. So another big mistake I think that SMEs make is a lack of understanding of their target audience, right? So I gave the example of not knowing what business you're into, but it's possible to know from a non-functional perspective what kind of business you're into, but you don't really understand your target audience. So I just gave the example of wigs and hair and being in the business of beauty. But you cannot assume that even in that wide umbrella of the business of beauty, every woman wants what you're selling, right? There are actually niches in that world. So you now need to understand your target audience. By themselves by wearing wigs. They like the convenience. It fits into their lifestyle. Maybe you're saying busy working professionals. It fits into their lifestyle. Instead of trying to comb their hair, they can get the wigs. It's affordable, but it needs to now go beyond that. So who are you targeting? Are you targeting the naturalistas? Because there is a huge natural hair movement that is worldwide right now. Right now it's hard to see a woman still relax their hair, a Black woman. So are you going to focus on those people who they love the texture of their hair, but they want extensions that look like their hair? They don't want to look like Brazilians or, Caucasian people, because obviously, when they're wearing the wigs, they want to still maintain their their sense of identity, their sense of self. So are you focusing on just that niche, which is a growing market? Or are you focusing on people who really want that exotic look and feel? So catering to everybody's needs, while you might say, oh, let's just see anybody that wants hair. But you might actually discover, during your market research, that focusing on one niche within that hair market is actually more profitable for you than saying, oh, everybody that wants wigs or hair. So you need to actually understand your target audience on the most granular level. So those are two major mistakes that I think that SMEs make. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Moremi, for such very in-depth analysis of the kind of mistakes that you have seen a number of SMEs actually make, from not understanding the business that they're actually into. So they understand it on a functional level, but then they don't really understand it when it comes to brand storytelling. And that's really important because that's how they're able to connect with their audience, with their customers, because that's really what we're looking for. So the best stories are the stickiest. And also just not understanding the customer to the minute detail. So you're selling hair, just like the example that you gave, but you cannot cater to everybody because not everybody has the same type of hair or the same type of needs. And that's really very insightful and something to take note of, actually. Thank you very much. So I'll ask the final rounds of questions now. Our time is fast spent, and so we're just going to round off very quickly. I'm going to start with Mosumola Orioye. Mosumola, I just really like you to tell us how exactly can SMEs ensure that their brand messaging is consistent across different platforms? So we understand that they may not be able to play everywhere at the same time, at the same level, but they still have to ensure that they are consistent across board. So how can they ensure that messaging is consistent across different platforms? If you could just do that in, say, a minute so that we can move on and round up very quickly, I'd be very glad. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. And before I go on, I would say that this has really everyone has gone very in depth, and even I, as the branding strategy person, I have gained a lot. To your question in consistent messaging, I would say that you need to understand your brand guidelines. What does that mean? It means that you need to understand that, okay, this is what I am focusing on. Use similar tone, use similar text, use similar messaging style, your consistency level, what kind of voice you're using, and then, just schedule regular auditing just to see how that goes. So for instance, for me, I always use myself as a very relevant example because I am into full-time content creation. And then I see as I have, I have evolved over time. I've seen the growth. I've seen different things, different dynamics of how things are done online. And even though I have a very, very specific niche, I would say that understanding my audience and using a particular tone to grab those audience and grab their attention over time has really, really helped. So it's very important for small businesses, no matter what it is you do. You are a content creator, you are a barber, you are a hair salon owner, you are a clothing fashion business owner. However, or whatever it is, you are, in fact, that we also have, I'm sorry you said in 1 minute, but we also have, corporate people that actually do have businesses that are small. So no matter what it is, you have to be consistent in your voice. You have to be consistent in whatever style you're putting out. Let me give you one quick example before, I round off. I would say that, okay, let's say, for instance, I'll use Morenike's example, an insight of what Morenike just mentioned about hair vendor. You are a hair vendor. Your main point, your main objective is to, first, mentioned that you have to have like a strategy. You have to understand where you're going, your target audience, your target market, and everything. So you've identified all of these things. Your voice and your messaging has to be clear and direct to those people you're trying to reach. So you can't say today, I will do mass market. Tomorrow, okay, let me just cater to corporate people. Okay, I see Miss Waneka doing dancing. Okay, let me dance. So no, those kind of things confuses your audience. It confuses people. So you have to understand what works and stick by it. So yeah, I hope I nailed it. And yes, that's pretty much how I would address that question. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Musumola Ore. So definitely you need to be consistent across platforms, but once you understand your brand, you understand your messaging, you understand your tone, it makes it easier for you to be able to replicate that across platforms, depending on what that platform needs. But understanding yourself and understanding your customer is what is core to being consistent. Thank you very much. So I'll move on to Precious now. Precious, if you could just tell us how business owners can ensure that their website visits or their website inquiries can actually be converted into sales. So they're not just getting people visiting their website, but they need to ensure that those people are also buying things from their website. So if you could just do that very quickly as well in, say, a minute, I'd be very glad.
All right. So a lot has been said. Focusing on websites as a platform that small businesses can leverage to achieve sales basically starts with understanding the role that this website plays in your marketing funnel, right? So let's assume that as a small business, you have already done the necessary things with regards to ensuring that your business is visible on Google. You've registered your business as a Google business, right? So people can access you online, people can reach your website. So that level of awareness is already there. Let's even say you're doing a campaign that promotes your website. So there is a campaign ongoing and people can click that campaign because you've put some money behind it and they land on your website. What that does for your customers is it creates the first level of contact in the marketing funnel, which is awareness. So as a small business owner, immediately you have people landing on your website. It's a win, but you shouldn't get very excited because that's just the first step in the steps of things that would ensure that these people will become buying customers, right? You need to make sure that when they get to that website, the website is optimized to ensure that they go through the entire funnel that makes them buy. So they're on your website, they are aware of your product, and they are navigating and browsing your website. So let's just keep the hair sample example going. So you've gotten them to get there, and we are looking at natural hair products, Is it the kind of product that they want to see that is there? So for example, you've targeted people who have natural hair and are looking for shea butter as an ingredient in their natural hair products. Immediately they get to your website. What are they seeing? Are they seeing beautiful graphics that show that you have used shea butter in creating this product, which has now also validated, your brand claims, or will help them move from that awareness to the next level, which is consideration. Oh, so I'm a naturalista. I've seen this ad, I've landed on this website, and I'm seeing shea butter. Great. Let me now go to the list of products on the website and check out what I can buy. At that point, they've moved from awareness to consideration, right? So in essence, you need to make sure that your marketing funnel is well set up. And it starts with ensuring that your business is properly registered, properly identifiable on the web, on the internet, and then your landing page, which in this case is your website, is optimized to keep them when they come. And now when they have come, you need to keep them going in that funnel. So shea butter, and then they're looking for products. So they get into your product catalog and they're saying shea butter, hair souffle, shea butter, conditioner, shampoo made with shea butter. And they're seeing reviews from people that have used this to say, oh, this has strengthened my hair, this has made me this and that. So they've moved from awareness to consideration, and then they're thinking, oh, okay, this looks good. Let me look at the reviews and begin to decide on what I want to buy. They might buy that day, they might not buy that same day, but it's there, right? So there is retargeting because they've come to your website and you've set up all of these things on Google. They are retargeted. 2 days later, 1 day later, they are online and your ad pops up again that shea butter hair conditioner to strengthen your hair, and they're like, oh, I wanted to buy something the other day. Let me go there and confirm if this product is still available, or if, make up my mind on what to buy. They are moving from consideration to conversion. They've already put you at the top of their funnel if they are going to make a purchase to strengthen their hair. They're already considering your product. And then they look at the reviews once again, they put it in their cart, All of this is happening because you've been able to optimize their journey from the point of contact with your website to the point where they are able to check out and pay on your website. So the website setup has to be on point. The marketing funnel has to be on point. You have to have a proper retargeting campaign to make sure that even if they fall off from that funnel, they can always come back. And then when they come back to make their decision to purchase, when they are moving to get converted, you need to be able to ensure that on the website, they are able to pay seamlessly. So it's not when they want to pay, they now see, copy the phone, the account number, and go to your, that option might be there, but it'd be easier if they can easily put in their card and just pay. In fact, it'd be easier if they can just blink their eyes twice and pay, So that sort of thing. So you just make sure that they are able to, do all of this on your platform, and then also make it clear what they get after they make that purchase. Is there a return policy? Is it clear that if they don't get what they paid for, they can easily return it? How do you refund? How long does it take for you to deliver? All those things would be what will make up their experience of your website and will determine if they move from converting customers to customers that have now become loyal ambassadors of your brand. I think Chima was talking about UGC, earlier. And as a business owner, you need to leverage your smallness. So the moment you have customers that are willing to give reviews about how good your product is, right? You want to begin to look within that pool to say, oh, how many of these people can I make not just loyal buyers, but ambassadors of this product? What kind of things can I throw in for them to make them consistently talk about my products and tell people about this without it costing me money? So you're like, hey, you bought the conditioner, you bought this, I wanted to send you an extra this. Tell me what you think about it. They're excited, they're happy. You have a loyal customer, you've leveraged them to continue to do marketing, you are upselling, you are cross-selling. And all of this is because you've been able to optimize the journey of their engagement with your website.
All right, thank you very much, Precious. So basically, what I understood from your submission is that you have to ensure that the process from discovering you up until sale is very easy, free-flowing, and seamless. They're able to find the information that they need. They're not looking for anything everywhere. And, the payment button is somewhere where they can actually see it. It's not like it's hidden under a particular button or in a page where they can't see it. The landing page has everything that the customer wants to actually see, and they're easy to just go through the process of through the stages very easily and seamlessly. Thank you very much, Precious. That was very insightful. So I'll move on now to Abiodun. Just sort of tell us what trends. I hope everybody can hear me. Apologies for that break. Yes. Okay. So tell us what trends business owners should look out to. Small business owners should look out for in the digital marketing space. We're talking about AI. Content being very much rampant and even acceptable. So what trends exactly should they look out for and look to incorporate in the coming years? So please, let's remember that we have to do it very quickly so that we can round off. Abiodu, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, please go ahead.
Yeah. Pretty much.
I don't know if that's me. Okay, yeah, we can see you.
Yeah. So, like many of my colleagues on this panel have rightly said, digital marketing is an ever-evolving space. So, what is working now is definitely going to change with time, and because the world is becoming smaller by the day, and the platforms that are these platforms that we are talking about, so much is resting on them. I mean, just one of them accounts for over 2 billion people. Facebook alone, we all know that Facebook is owned by, Facebook owns IG, owns WhatsApp. The aggregated community of audience on those three platforms are staggering. So the trend over time will definitely keep evolving because we are dealing with billions of dollars. If you read the news recently, close to 4.5 billion, 4 point something trillion naira was paid by Google, Facebook, and all these social media platforms. Guess to who? To Nigerian government as tax. You know, that shows that we are, whether we like it or not, we are all beginning to, on a daily basis, pay our dues to these platforms. They make enormous money. So it is obvious it will only get more competitive, and SMEs need to learn how to navigate through all these changes. I think one of the speakers said something that is important for people to respond to DMs. And in the coming years, one of the major, because many platforms will need people's attention. So AIs are being developed and there are bots today that can replicate human intelligence, and rather than keep your clients hanging when they make inquiries, you create an extensive FAQ on your product that can cater for 95% of the inquiries any customer can make. And while you're sleeping, these AIs will respond, we take bookings, and and there's no delay because the attention span on social media is reducing by the day. So the deployment of AI, of artificial intelligence, of bots, and other innovations that are emerging are my number one take on the emerging trends on social media. They are going to be game changer for SMEs. And like I've also believed and hinted in my first presentation, it's important that SMEs understand how to play, how to start gradually and not always throw money at problems so that they can then scale up and get the best out of these things. I think that's my take for now. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you so much. So understanding that there's a way that businesses can incorporate AI in such a way that they don't have to always be the ones responding to inquiries or responding to questions from customers. There's a way that you can actually automate that and ensure that you don't lose sales while maybe you're sleeping or something. So thank you very much. We're going to move very quickly to Temitope. I think I'd like to take Moremi last because we did have a lot of exposition just a few minutes ago. So let's move on to Temitope. I'd really like you to tell us how personal branding for business owners can impact their sales in such a way that there are some people that we don't particularly know their businesses, but just because we know this person, we are willing to buy from them. So how can a business owner enhance their own personal brands to enhance their business brands?
Hi, thanks for the question. That's a good question because the truth is, in this period that we are in on social media, there's a rule that says people don't buy from businesses, people buy from people. So basically, it speaks to the customer wanting a more intimate relationship with brands. And from my previous experience, I realized that um, there was a particular brand I grew to a certain level, and I realized one of the major challenges we had in terms of forming a community. We had a lot of followers, we had a lot of people buying from us, we had a lot of visitors to our website, but they were coming and going. There was no real connection. And when I looked into some of our competition, and I saw what some of our competitors were doing, I realized the business owners or maybe someone in the company, took that mantle and try to build that relationship. When you keep posting on your social media and all you are just doing is maybe one static post with your brand name, without any human feel to it, nobody, no human being, and that's why nowadays you hear something called founder-led growth, where the founder really puts themselves out there, and the owner puts themselves out there, and they're trying to build that relationship. So yes, you can leverage your personal brand. So one of the things I do occasionally, and I think I would have to take that a little bit more serious in 2025, is on my personal Instagram page, I, speak to some of the issues that my target audience is having for my businesses. So I have different businesses. So when I'm posting something relevant to a particular business, I would collaborate with that business on social media and I'll speak to it. And, so the post is showing on my personal branding page, is also showing on the business itself. And also people like to come to a business page and see somebody. They want to see people. They want to be able to, they just don't want to come and be seeing brand. It looks so robotic, So the more you can see how you can put in, your face, even if it's not you personally as the founder, but you are able to have a face. You are able to have someone in the business. My previous business, I had 2 staff that were in charge of, something like that. And they were putting themselves out there. And because I'm a very shy person, so I always try to, put 1 or 2 of my staffs to really promote the brand. And so I think the way businesses, small businesses, and also it's cheap marketing. So I've met some founders that, in fact, mainly female founders, they have their store that they are doing their business, but it's not related to their personal page at all. I don't know why. Their personal page has a lot of followers, but they just totally, some people have their reasons and it's fine. But I always encourage my female friends that you have a lot of the customers you are looking for on your business. You'll be shocked that all of them are in your page. And a lot of people that are already following you, a lot of people that already have a relationship with you. The truth is, a lot of times when you tell them to buy from you, that this is your business, this is what you do, they should buy. If they are not going to buy, they should connect you with somebody they know that will buy. A lot of people actually want to help. All right. So my advice to founders is, put yourself out there. Don't be running a hidden business, in quotes. Put yourself out there, let people know what you do, put your brand out there. Your status on WhatsApp is not for fun. It's not to just be posting memes and all that and for everybody to be laughing. Put your business on your status, put your story, your business, put it on your status, put it on your Instagram stories, Facebook stories, put it, let everybody know what you do. And you'll be shocked that if you do that consistently for 1 month, you start receiving chats, you start receiving and saying, oh, I saw this on your status a while back. I don't know if this is, you do this, you'll be like, yes, so this is what I do. So sell your market without shame, you know, and I've been shy all this while, but I'm getting out of my closet, and I think I'll do more of that in 2025. I want to ensure that I build publicly and let people see what it is that I do. There was someone that mentioned something, just I think the previous speaker also, and he spoke about, you know, engaging people where they are with, you know, responses, even if you are not there, even if you are not sleeping, even if you are sleeping or wherever you are. So that's another thing that the business we're working on, Sender, is going to do, is going to help in automating your customer service. So one of the things we'll do, one, is to link all your social media together, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, your various social media, will link everything together, and all your messages will enter into one inbox, so you can respond to everything. But we'll now go further, although we'll create them step by step, but we'll go further into adding AI and automation, so that when people are chatting your business, an AI bot can respond to them, and not in a botty way, but in a very interactive way and all that. So I think the future, 2025, is going to be very bright. It's going to be very interesting, and small businesses should try their best to leverage AI, which is literally almost free and very cheap to use. Leverage AI to build your business. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Temitope. Very, really profound advice that you've given to founders or to small business owners. You have to put yourself out there, because people that you have personal relationships with, they trust you more, and they trust that when they buy from you or they buy from your business, they understand that, okay, I'm actually transacting with this person. So they understand that it's a more personable relationship, rather than, you know, trying to sell to them without any personal relationship. So thank you very much. We'll move on to Choma now. And Choma, I'd really like you to tell us how business owners, small business owners, can build an online community such that they have, you know, a community of advocates, if I could use that word. Please do that for us very quickly, so that we can take the final speaker and then we can call it a day.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So building community as a small business owner, I think I started community building in 2018 for a brand called Moms and Mamas, where we're able to build up to a community of 200,000. I started with 6,000 customers. Then from there, we're able to build that. And through that community, we're able to get influencers, which over time we use them in launching the website and also products that actually came out from that business. So as a small business owner, I even think the best strategy for you, digital strategy, would be to create that connection with your audience. It's very critical. And in doing that, you have to be able to speak authentically to them. So if you're speaking to your audience like a regular, one thing I usually say is your customers, I say this to small business owners, your customers are not stereotypes. They are human beings like you. So if you're speaking to your customers, you have to speak like you're speaking to you. So any message you're putting out, are this the kind of message that would actually mean something to me? And the best way to build a community is through meaningful connections. So if you're putting out content, ensure your content are authentic. It speaks to their problems. It speaks about the value you even hold as a business. I worked with Mrs. Temilola Adekpetun, and one key thing I got from working with her is our business stemmed out of the gap she experienced as a mother. So she owns a store, currently a billion naira business. called Skid Store. And what's Skid Store about? Skid Store is that brand where you can actually go to as a mom. So like a mom, regular mom life, especially during back to school, is you're going to Balogun markets. And in Balogun markets, you don't have like an integrated product or an integrated store that has all the products, back to school products. You have to go from one cluster to another cluster. You're getting socks here, you're getting this there, you're getting that there. But she noticed as a working mom, there is this gap in the community. You're going to shop, you're not shopping in one weekend, you're shopping in like maybe spreading your weekend into spreading your shopping into 3 weekends for back to school shopping, and it can be very stressful. She created her business based on what she has experienced as herself. So you need a purpose. Why are you creating your business as a small business owner? Do you have any purpose? Do you have any value that you're creating or that made you create the business? If you do not do that, if you don't have that, there's no way you're able to connect with those audiences, right? So in doing that, you're able to say, okay, this is what it is. And they're able to connect with you and say, okay, wow, I think this person's purpose and value aligns with mine. And definitely, I know I have a lot of friends that purchase from a particular customer over the years or a particular vendor over the years based on that vendor understanding our value. A recent, I like giving examples. So a recent example would be a food tasting I went with my friend. She's an Ijabi, and she was very particular about an halal menu. And the person we're going to, I asked him, okay, do you offer this? And he said, yes, that you actually started this over time based on people's requests, his customers' requests about this. If you have that, if there's that purpose, people will align with you with that purpose. And over time, consistency, I think a speaker even mentioned it, consistency in putting out whatever it is you're doing. If you're doing anything, you have to be consistent. Not only consistent, you have to ensure it's relevant to them. So you're creating a Google My Business, and the last time you've posted on that Google My Business on any product or new arrivals is about 2 years ago. If I go to that particular place as a new person, I'm not thinking, oh, I'm already saying that, oh, this person, I'm not sure this person exists or things like that. And they have to call you, or possibly you misplaced your number and you're not able to even ensure that the entire platform where you have your number listed, you're not changing it over time. So consistency in ensuring the information you have is out there, content you're putting out is relevant to your audience, and there's a connection with your audience. Over time, your audience will be able to see that you actually value what it is you're doing, and they would align with you and also be brand promoters for your brand. And that way you're able to build a community. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Chioma. So you need to be consistent. You also need to understand your why so that you're able to tell your brand story. Thank you very much. And finally, we're going to take you, Moremi. Just tell us what advice for businesses who have a very, very slim budget, but they still want to run. They want to play in the digital marketing space, maybe running ads or just sort of maximizing the digital marketing platform. Please, if you could do that for us very quickly, say in 1 minute, maybe even less, I'd be very good.
Okay, awesome. 1 minute or less. I think that all of my awesome colleagues here have actually hinted at this, but I'll just add a little bit more to what has been said. So the first thing I would say is that you can actually also seek out nano influencers. So these are not UGCs, right? They are actually influencers, but they are nano influencers. So what do I mean by nano influencers? These are people who have maybe like 9,000 followers or less, right? So within that quote unquote small circle of influence, they have very engaged followers. So you have to be intentional about the ones that you pick, right? So we've had experiences where, for instance, we just finished up a campaign for an art exhibition, an art show. And, the marketing budget, the PR budget was not so much. So what we did was we researched people who were into lifestyle on Instagram and who also happen to love art. So we found a couple of people who had like maybe 6,000 followers and below, but their engagement was crazy. Like you would see people with 6,000 followers, but then they would have like 100 comments, 200 comments, 300 comments, and then you check the quality of their followers and they're top notch, and they're actually the kinds of people that we. So we were able, the budget that we would normally allocate to maybe a very like A-list mega influencer with 1 million plus followers, we were able to stretch that budget to like 20, 30, 40 people who were able to spread the word about the show and the campaign. And it actually, you know, the analytics were actually mind-blowing as well, because afterwards we asked them to share their analytics, right? So using, you know, nano influencers is something that is often overlooked. And I think that small businesses who are really looking to increase their reach and you know, visibility and get new customers should look into nano influencers. So apart from nano influencers, you can also look into UGCs, like Chioma mentioned. I mentioned nano influencers because it's not UGCs that will work for every business. UGCs are mainly more for like product-based consumer businesses, but for something like an art exhibition or vendor that is very niche, you might need to tap into, you know, those nano influencers as well. So UGCs are actually also great if you have a product-based business that is mainstream and, you know, sellable, like, and you don't need to, you know, explain too much about what it is you're selling. UGCs are fantastic as well. And then, of course, your regular sponsored ads, you know, I believe that you can place ads from like, you know, 5K and up, Instagram, Facebook. I'm not sure how much your reach will be, but if you're really, really tight on your budget, you know, you can afford even like the cheapest sponsored ads. Yeah, I think those are the is still like the most potent form of marketing. So let's say you launch a new business, maybe you have a food business, and you're not really sure if your food is sweet like that, you know, but you sure want to go into food business. You can even get your family and friends, like, hey, I want to start cooking, or come and taste it, etc. You know, if you like it, please tell people. And if you're able to refer people, I can give you a bit of a discount. Do you see what I mean? So you're giving them incentives. And if the food is actually good, they will spread the word, and good news travels fast. So yeah, those are the measures.
All right. Thank you very much.
Sponsored ads and word of mouth. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Moremi. This has been really wonderful. Thank you so much to all of our speakers, professionals, and experts in digital marketing. I'm sure that every single person who joined us today, who is either a business owner or they're thinking of starting a business, they now have the tools that they need to you know, ensure that they're able to maximize the digital marketing space. Thank you so much, Temitope, Moremi, Chioma, Precious, Abiodun, and of course, Musumola. Thank you very much for joining us. Until we see again, maybe in another session or another event, have a wonderful day.
Have a lovely day, everyone.